The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program host and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by TCN TV Network Incorporated. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. The TCN TV Network claims no rights to the said content. TCN TV Network cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. TCN TV Network is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this program.
We discuss all the issues, municipal, provincial, federal, and any issue of national importance. We will talk about on Point. Good evening and welcome to On Point, your political and current affairs talk show program, broadcasting to you live here from the beautiful city of Brampton, where it's lovely and nice on the outside. So if you're watching this where it's not so lovely, you might want to consider heading over to here in the city of Brampton. With me on the program this evening is Brampton businessman and a regular commentator, Mr. Mario Russo. Mario, always good.
Jermaine, thanks for having me as usual.
All right, always good to have you here. This evening on the program, we have lots to talk about. You know, there's a lot happening politically at the federal level, lots are also happening at the provincial level, lots are happening here in our city. You know, we're having some individuals from our city as well coming to talk to us a bit later in the program. So a lot's going on here this evening. Also want to tell you that we have some exciting programs lined up, Mario. Some exciting programs are coming up. You know, lots are happening here in Brampton. We're going to take a look at some Brampton issues. We're going to looking forward to talking with some of the councillors coming up. You know, just about 1 year since they were sworn in. So we want to get a 1 year report, a 1 year review. So
report card of sorts.
A report card of sorts, yeah. So we're looking forward to having those conversations, and you know, we're going to bring those to you very soon. But a lot of things are been in the headlines since we last were with you last week. Mario, we found out the makeup of the federal cabinet. You know, we also saw a number of our Brampton MPs being sworn in. Let's talk a little bit about the Trudeau cabinet first of all. You know, we saw the cabinet unveiled. You know, the last time around there was a lot of fanfare around it. Don't seem to be as much fanfare around it this time around. But your initial feedback seeing the cabinet.
Well, firstly, Jermaine, before we start off, let me be the first to officially wish you a happy birthday on the air.
Oh, it is my birthday today. Thank you.
So I wanted to highlight that before we got going, and all the best to you, on your day.
Thank you so much. And just in case you were wondering why the weather is so warm and nice, it's a wonderful day and the earth is celebrating.
You brought some of the island vibes to Brampton. Excellent. Thank you so much. So speaking of cabinet, so on a more negative, and I'm going to speak negative to this because from a Brampton perspective, I was very disappointed to see that there was no representation on cabinet for any Bramptonian, and only one in Peel, which was a repeat of Minister Baines, who was already there. So the representation, again, seems to be a slight. We do have parliamentary assistants, I believe, but at the end of the day, top dog, if you will, we have only one in Peel. There was a lot of hope and expectation going into this election that once the Liberal Party came up triumphant, we would have some greater representation at the table, and you know, Brampton issues be brought to the forefront. So there's a lot of expectations, and we will continue to advocate. I know the roles of MP still lend themselves to actually advocating, but they're not in a position of strength as if they were an actual cabinet minister. So it's disappointing.
Well, you know, that's one of the things that we were hoping. We were really hoping that we'd have seen some of our representatives here in the city of Brampton, as well as further on within the Peter Region, be in the cabinet. But as you say, disappointing that didn't happen. So it means therefore that our MPs who are all now sworn in. We have in the West, MP Kamal Kira, who was sworn in earlier. In the North, MP Ruby Sahota, who was also sworn in the South, MP Sonia Sidhu, for those who have forgotten already. And in the East, MP Maninder Sidhu. And in center, we have Mr. Ramesh Sanga. So those are the 5 MPs from the city of Brampton. A lot to expect from them. Coming up in this year, we have some transit issues, we have some infrastructure issues.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot that we're going to expect from these MPs. But before we get there, though, let's go back to the cabinet a bit. This cabinet was even larger than the previous one. Some of the positions that jump out at you. One we have been trying to figure out.
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
We've been trying to figure out a minister for middle class prosperity, and that's one we have been trying to figure out what exactly is happening there. What's the role there?
I have no idea. Other than we'll wait and see. I understand the optics of it is to try and appease that middle people that aren't necessarily the most destitute, if you will, for lack of better words, and people who aren't the upper class. I don't know. It doesn't have a great feel to it from my perspective as a constituent. Is it seems to be very pandering, but I'm always open-minded, and hopefully it can bring some value. I don't know where the value is going to come from, so we'll be waiting. With the ongoing progress and some further clarification on exact roles that this minister will actually serve.
And it's interesting because the minister herself was saying she looked forward to understanding what her mandate is and look at her mandate letter, because she wasn't so sure from the interviews I've seen what the role is expected, what is she expected to do.
Absolutely, and I'll be an optimist is that at this point in time is that there are introductions of new cabinet positions at times that are innovative and perhaps in the future 2020 will lend itself to be that was a good choice. I really don't understand how it's going to be implemented and really what role and what roles will be taken away from other ministers and so forth, where that really falls in between the cracks.
Canada is also making some strides there. We are still a way behind some countries in terms of the role and the advancement of women in politics. We have seen around the world, New Zealand, Jamaica, Barbados, a number of countries where they have elected their first female prime minister in those countries already. Canada, we're kind of lagging a bit behind there. Yeah, where we have a female serve. We talked about this the last time when Tina was here, but. Indeed, Minister Chrystia Freeland was appointed as the Deputy Prime Minister. We didn't have one in recent years, so we are looking to see how that role will morph. She have had our first meeting, I think, today with Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney. So, what do you expect from her as a Deputy Prime Minister? How do we look forward to seeing that role evolving?
Well, I've said this before, and I will continue to say this. I think the roles of everybody are to be dealt with on qualifications. And I think Minister Freeland has those qualifications, and I think that's the important variable to look at. I think when we start taking away some of these labels and really understand that we're all Canadian first and foremost, we will start getting ahead. That being said, equity and making up for some lost time does have value. And I think we're in a position, and we can speak from Peel, the majority of our ministers, in particular in Brampton, are actually female. So MPs, and that's a good thing. And I believe in Peel, even though I may not be red, if you will, I tend to be more blue. I do think that our leadership and the ministers the MPs that we do have are strong examples of people that got into politics and have created a roadmap for younger generation to step into those roles as well.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, so lots to talk about on the program. When we come back, we're going to have some special guests joining us. This is On Point, bringing you the issues of the day, many more topical issues we're going to talk about. We'll take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. You're watching On Point on the TCN network from here in the city of Brampton. Stay with us.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
World-famous spiritual astrologer and psychic Pandit Sai is born to serve people. He's an expert on palmistry and horoscope. He can handle all problems and give Vedic solutions for business, job, love, marriage, husband and wife problems, children, personal, and many others, including depression. He also performs pujas to clear all sorts of obstacles. Call Pandit Sai and see changes in your life now. 647-766-1419. Located at 2895 Derry Road, East Mississauga, Airport Road and Derry.
All right, welcome back to On Point, your political and current affairs talk show program. We are looking at quite a few federal issues that is taking place. We're going to switch gears a little. On the conservative side, never a dull day in Canadian politics. On the conservative side, Mario, Andrew Scheer has fired his chief of staff and also has fired his campaign manager as a result of the loss that the party suffered in the election campaign. A part of it is expected. You lose a campaign, you expect a few heads to roll.
Absolutely.
And those are in charge would be, the campaign manager, communication director rather, in his office would have played a big role. Chief of staff would have played a big role in the campaign as well. Right move for him to let those go?
Time will tell. I guess the difficulty right now is understanding whom are the circle that Mr. Scheer surrounds himself with. When you fire or when people are, one has retired and so forth, is that
that must be next level.
That's more politically correct. It was a retirement of sorts. But when those are people that were at least from optics, in the inner circle. So now really understanding whom is still in that inner circle, who is part of the decision-making process. Obviously, as leader, you are at the top, but there are people that you surround yourself that have a significant amount of input in those decision-making processes. So this will be something that will be ongoing, and I think going into the new year, in particular, if and when a leadership review, if I'm not mistaken, occurs in March or April. That will be something that questions will come out, and then there will be people that criticize the move. There will be people that applaud the move. That's something that will be, again, time will tell.
But there's also the need to have some amount of accountability. You lose a campaign, one in which you went in thinking they're going to come out and win, you're going to form a majority government, but then you lose. So at least he has to show that he's kind of taking some responsibility, that he's holding people to account. He's going to move in a different direction. Because there are people who are criticizing how things operated, right? So you have to at least show your supporters, show your base that, listen, I'm still in charge, I'm still taking control. And then, there might be some people who might have also been a little bit discouraged from the loss. That's natural. So you're going to want to make sure that you're hitting that reset button, getting people there who can come in, motivate your team, and get your team stronger.
And Jermaine, I use the sports analogy, and we've actually gone through this recently in Toronto, is when things aren't working, some heads seem to roll.
Yeah.
And it often is the general manager or the coach that gets let go. The question always is, are those the right people that are let go? And again, back to my previous statement, time will tell, is that there are people that potentially were let go that weren't the ones that were truly responsible for that, or they were the ones that made some of those policy decisions or suggested some of those policy decisions that led to again the results. And we again, if we had that crystal ball, we'd all be better off.
Let's talk about another issue that conservatives face. If you're an NDPer, you're an NDPer, right? If you are a liberal, you're a liberal. Somehow conservatives have allowed themselves to be in various categories. You are a red Tory, you're a social conservative, you are a fiscal conservative. The conservative movement seems to have been the only one that allows itself to be in so many different camps, so many different boxes. And that's proven to be a challenge for conservatism in Canada, in other places around the world. People are questioning, how far does your conservatism go? Right. So now we see Andrew Scheer, who is coming out more and more in the media now, is having that same kind of a challenge. There's one report out today. Social conservatives are withdrawing themselves from Andrew Scheer because they don't think that he is representing them well. I'm thinking that that's a danger to the Conservative Party. To be, if you're a conservative, you embrace the values. You want to make sure you have efficient government. Less regulation, less red tape, and so the economy can the market, can decide how the economy works, and allow people and small business to grow and flourish. Why is conservatives twisting and tying themselves in so many different boxes?
Well, you brought up a great point, and I think that fraction of the Conservative Party has been a great hurdle to overcome. It's been historically there. You saw that with the Reform Party back in the day, the Progressive Conservatives, and so forth. It exists. I just think, honestly, truth be told, the other parties have done a good job of creating that narrative.
Oh, yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, being labeled a conservative doesn't mean that you don't have an environmental conscience. Yeah. Being labeled a conservative doesn't mean that you don't have a social conscience. And that's one of the things that played itself off, in particular in the 905 and the 416 for the Conservative Party, and they were not able to overcome that narrative. Yeah. And even though oftentimes when you speak to conservatives that know the history and understanding that it was the conservatives that basically elected the first, if I'm not mistaken, black minister, first female,
first Japanese minister, was all the conservatives.
So there's all these firsts, yet they are labeled the wealthy upper class, and I tend to consider myself a conservative, and I'm definitely not one of those wealthy upper class, right? So it's something that, again, in politics, these labels it takes a leader to be able to overcome that and really let the people of Canada, and that's the other big hurdle, is Canada is so vast.
And we can understand the need there for Andrew Scheer to make changes, particularly to the communication director, because that was one of the big issues in the campaign. Issues that, social issues that the Conservative Party had already advanced, had already make legislation to really deal with. The Conservative Party has been out there protecting the rights of people in the LGBTQ community, protecting other rights, all other human rights. The Conservative Party have had a history of protecting people's rights and respecting people's rights. But for some reason, during this campaign, the communication strategy just could not shake some of those questions out there. And, people on the left has somehow successfully know how to back conservatives into a corner.
Absolutely. Is that narrative has not been able to be overcome. Oftentimes people have said in politics, the policies, the real matter, the things that matter the most, oftentimes are overlooked. It's the politician, if you will, that can make you feel good. The politician that knows how to say the right thing at the right time. The person that you are enamored with a lot of times is whom wins. That does not mean that is the person, and I use this often, is there is a big difference between campaigning and governing. And campaigning is one skill set, governing is another. We hope that we elect the proper or the people that can actually govern as well, not just campaign well. Oftentimes that's not always the case. Sometimes it is.
And I can understand as well we can understand as well the need for Andrew Scheer to replace the communication director. For some reason during the campaign he presented his environmental plan, and for some reason the Liberals had been able to sell the climate change issue as a carbon tax issue. And as much as Andrew Scheer says, there are different ways to deal with climate change, the fact that he didn't have a carbon tax component in his plan, they just couldn't communicate that to Canadians. And then we still have some conservatives, we see it in the media, we see them writing articles that they have bought into the issue or the point that you must have a carbon tax as the only way to deal with climate change. So no doubt there was need for change in Andrew Scheer's inner circle and in his communication team.
Yeah, and really at the end of the day, let's be frank here, is that this was a fail from the Conservative Party federally, like from the top, meaning we had some great, and I say we, there were some great candidates that were conservatives that the numbers did not reflect we saw some numbers that were
huge losses.
massive, and respectfully to the winners, that did not reflect how close. And many people at the beginning of let's call it the RIP period thought that this was going to be very, very close. That did not manifest in the numbers. Right. And how they get over that will be something that they need to challenge themselves with.
Lots to come. We change gears when we come back from the break. Stay with us. This is On Point on a beautiful Tuesday evening, Tuesday, November 26th. Mark that date, a beautiful evening. Stay with us.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
Welcome back to On Point, your political and current affairs talk show program. We are here looking at all the issues of importance to you as Canadians and Bramptonians. We have with us, joining us, Azad Goyat. Azad is one of the founding members of the Brampton First Foundation. Azad, it's good to have you on the program. Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Jermaine.
All right.
Pleasure to be here.
We're happy to have you. So you are planning, you want to talk to us. The Brampton First Foundation is on the front page of fighting to get a few things done in Brampton. Talk to us a little bit about the organization and some of the things that you're really pushing to have done.
The main objective of founding Brampton First Foundation is to bring all three levels of government together, because Brampton has been neglected always. So Brampton First Foundation is taking the liberty to bring all levels together, to work for Brampton and to bring Brampton back on track.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So you're trying to get all three levels of government to work on the priorities. What are some of those priorities that you want to have the different government levels work on for Brampton?
So far, because I'm just talking about the event we are organizing. So we are organizing a event. It's called Brampton Community Meeting.
Okay.
It's at 21 Country Road, Brampton, Ontario.
Okay. Probably close to the mic there. Yep.
It's on November 30th, 2019, and it starts sharp 12:30 to 2 p.m. and door open at 12 p.m. The main agenda of the meeting is hospital and healthcare.
Okay.
Then we are demanding a full-fledged university, not a parking lot university. Safety and security, because Brampton is becoming, a safe haven to the offenders, to the culprit, and we are looking for the infrastructure and affordable housing.
Okay. So that's a lot you want to cover in terms of the agenda. That's this Saturday. So you're inviting all Bramptonians to come out and talk. That's a lot on the agenda. Who are some of the persons who will be a part of this discussion? Are we going to get the stakeholders there, Mario? Who are some of the people who will be here?
Okay. So I want to add one more thing.
Yeah.
Because this event is organized by Brampton First Foundation and Brampton Need Hospitals. So these two organizations are working together with one of my other friend, Bhavesh Bhatt, and we have invited all level of governments at municipal level, at provincial level, and at federal level. And so far, it has been confirmed from the federal level. All 4 MPs are coming.
Okay.
4 MPs confirmed.
Or 4 confirmed, yeah. We're still waiting on 1.
Yeah, and I would love to say that Mr. Maninder Singh has confirmed, Maninder Sidhu.
Okay.
Sonia Sidhu, we are getting the confirmation, that's in process.
Okay.
And we have Kamal Khera confirmed, and we have Ruby Sahota confirmed, and Mr. Ramesh Sangha is going to send his video clip because he has some decided appointments.
Okay.
And so far the MPPs are confirmed. Mr. Amarjot Sandhu has confirmed, and Sara Singh has confirmed.
Okay.
Kevin we are getting the confirmation soon. So far 3 MPPs, and we have also confirmed some city councillor and regional councillor. Among the prominents are Pat Fortini, Pal Vincente, Ravina Santos, and Harkirat Singh and Gurpreet Hillo. So far we are just waiting more confirmation, and we are inviting all Bramptonians, because this event is for Brampton's cause. This is not our event. This is not Brampton First Foundation event, and it's not Brampton Need Hospital event. It's all Bramptonian events. So we are requesting all Bramptonians to be on time and so that our voice can be heard together.
Okay. All right. So I know some of the elected officials, they watch this show, Mario. So we're gonna use it as an avenue for them to call you, Azad, so they can confirm their attendance. So you talk to us. You have been trying to, with others to push to get attention to the issue of a second hospital. You were on a hunger strike recently. Talk to us about that, and how important that was, and if there are any feedback or results from it as yet.
Yeah, regarding the hunger strike, because my friend Sanjeev Dhawan from Brampton Need Hospital, he started this 5 days hunger strike at Queen's Park, and the main purpose of that hunger strike was to knock the door, because during election time, all candidates from all parties, they knock our door to get them elected. After getting elected, they are neglecting us. They are not our voice. That's why Brampton has been neglected, and Brampton is behind. So main thing was, let's knock the door at the Queen's Park so that our voice can be heard, and this is the main objective. But we have got a lot of support from Bramptonians there. Yes, it was hard for the Bramptonian to be there in person, but we got a lot of calls, a lot of videos. We are supporting this for this cause, and really, I can say that we saw a seed at the Queen's Park, and now we are working hard. With all together, with all Bramptonian, we will make that seed to grow in a tree.
Mario, I like that, Mario, in terms of what he's saying about the aim is to knock the door.
That's
the
right.
Politicians come to knock your door when they're looking to vote, but now you are going to knock their door. It's an interesting concept.
Well, I applaud Azad. He's done so much for the community and a lot of the other community members. But I'm again going to be the guy who is going to pick on some of the politicians. Is that this is not the job of constituents to be doing this.
Residents,
It is good that they are taking the initiative and bringing people together. So that's important. And really, at the end of the day, if you really want it done, you need to do it yourself sometimes. That being said, we've elected these officials to be our voice, as Azad has said, and we are expecting them to be held accountable for these. And this is not just an overnight occurrence. This is years and years of neglect, as many people have said. And this is something that we are always catching up. We are always catching up. We are the 9th largest city in Canada, and we are not treated as such. That being said, I implore our councillors, our MPPs, and our MPs to start working together and getting results for us. Everyone at this table and everyone in Brampton.
In Brampton, yeah. So and you're right. We got to encourage. I saw when they were there on the hunger strike. I saw some of our elected officials in Brampton go down there. Was talking with them. But these elected officials are knowing that a part of it is that their responsibility is also to knock on that door of the other levels of government to get things done. And I want them to understand it was not just for a photo opportunity that you should have gone down there, to all these councillors and others who went down there. You should have been going to talk with the counterparts, the other levels of government, to kind of get things done. So we commend you on that, Azad, and the fight that you're taking. Anything else that we need to know about your organization and what you're pushing to have done here?
The main thing we are pushing that Brampton has already been neglected. We are not getting the fair share for our healthcare fundings. We are the least funded city in Ontario as far as healthcare funding is concerned. So we are looking the Peel Memorial, which is urgent care center, to be converted in a full-fledged hospital. We are looking one more hospital, because we know that Brampton is the 9th largest growing city, largest city in Canada, population-wise.
And growing, exactly.
It's growing. And what we have here, just one hospital serving 600,000 plus residents. We have no university. Why we don't have the university here?
We do have Algoma. I want to shout out Algoma.
Algoma.
But absolutely, we for a population of this size, we definitely can withstand and support
we need
much more.
University of Brampton, which is offering the program of the collaboration with the world renowned institutions. So we are looking at a big university like 30,000 to 40,000 capacity. We are looking not a parking lot university and just delivering. We brought the university. No, time has gone. Brampton has suffered a lot. Enough is enough. So I'm requesting all politicians now, please work for Brampton, not to work for yourself. Come and attend this meeting and send your confirmation as soon as possible, because that's why we have chosen them. It's their job. It's not like they are withdrawing their salary and their allowances and they are not working for the constituents. No, time to work.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're getting the word out there. We're using this platform to get the word out there. We appeal to all the elected officials in the city of all 3 levels of government to kind of come out, give you your support. We're also encouraging all our residents to come out, because some of these things require, all of these things require that the residents be active, be involved, raise your voices, let your voice be heard, and so that our elected officials can deliver on the issues for Brampton. Healthcare, a big issue. Education, it's a big issue in the city, and these are things, Mario, that is big on the agenda. We really want to push for that.
And this group has been very active in bringing people together and organizing. And this is one of many things that they've had in the community. And just a few months ago, a month ago, they had a big crime and safety workshop as well. And this is stuff that is important that we work together. This is not a liberal, conservative NDP thing. This is a Bramptonian thing, and we need to work together.
All right, gotta leave it there on the break. Azad, thanks for coming in. We wish you all the best with this program, with this forum on Saturday. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Jermaine, and thanks, Mario. Again, requesting all Bramptonians, please, time to work together, time to join hands. Let's join hand, hearts, and head, and make it done. Together we can make it.
Got to take the commercial break.
Well
Stay with us. When we come back, we have more to discuss. Stay with us.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity in our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back to On Point, your political and current affairs talk show program. We're broadcasting live on a nice warm day from the beautiful city of Brampton here on the TCN network. Lots of programs take place on the TCN network. If you watch us, also watch some other program in there. Mario, lots of things were taking place in the city of Brampton. We had a gala on Saturday night. We talked about the need for hospital with Azad just now. And there was a gala on Saturday night that raised over $900,000 in donation towards the William Osler Hospital System, which is Brampton and Etobicoke. A very good initiative by the community.
Absolutely. It goes to show you when we work together, to Azad's point, that we get some great things done. One of our panelists is actually a board member on the hospital committee as well, and Tina and so many people had done so many good things promoting the event, and it's good to see when we don't just get the negatives promoted. It's good to see the positive highlighted, and understanding that there's so many good things here in Brampton, and there's so many people doing great things in the community, and the people that are employed at the hospitals are the ones that the frontline workers should be commended for everything that they do.
Yep. And I mean, it's just going to show as well, the community comes together, we raise $900,000, we make a donation, those things goes towards helping with modern equipments, more hospital beds. So this is for a worthy cause. I just want to commend all those who were involved in that gala on Saturday evening, all the businesses and the other philanthropists who made donations, who contributed, and those who went out. We applaud you. Another big thing happened in our city last night, the keys to the city was given to one former Premier of Ontario, Mr. William G. Davis. So he got the keys to the city last night. A very fitting tribute, I believe. That was Mr. Brampton, the Premier who Brampton is the capital of the world, or the city of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I go to a lot of these benefit galas and a lot of community events. This was one of the premier events. No pun intended.
Oh yeah.
That it was, everybody was just glued and listening to every word that the panelists and everyone, the guests, had to say, because it was about our history and our history of great things. Premier Davis has done so many things for the community. And one of the things that...
Let's back up a little there, Mario, just in case we have viewers who are watching who don't understand. So Bill Davis was a former Premier of Ontario, had a riding right here in the city of Brampton. Some of the things that
County of Peel.
In the County of Peel at the time, that's true. That's way back in the days. Bill Davis did things such as, elected or appointed the first female cabinet minister in Ontario's history.
There's
appointed by
there's too many things to actually recount, but he is and his cabinet are responsible for bringing about regional governance.
Yeah.
He was the former education minister, and one of the speakers yesterday, whom was a former MP as well, speaks to the fact that he was the one that brought in, one of the journalists, that he was the one that brought in the college system into Ontario as well. Yeah. There are so many great things, and that legacy is something that we should all be proud of. And and he hasn't. He doesn't miss a beat. God bless him. He still has the wit, has the foresight, and people. When you have people like Hazel McCallion, when you have John Tory, Pinball Clemens, these are some of the speakers that were there,
last night,
and just were. They were in awe of being near our former premier.
Yeah, and I mean, we are here on TV as well. TVO, Television Ontario, which produces a lot of programming for family-oriented programming, educational programming to teach kids. He was the person, the visionary behind these institutions.
And I'm just going to use a quote from last night. TVO is actually responsible for employing both Pokeroo and Steve Paikin for years. It's some of those things growing up. You remember those characters, and it's something close to your heart. So a lot of times we have some knocks to our politicians, and these are the people that bring you those good news stories. And kudos to our Patrick Brown, our mayor and council, and everyone involved, our staff. The Rose Theatre, everyone did an impeccable job.
I had a talk with Patrick Brown last night, and I said to him, you did well tonight. This was a well-deserved, well-thought-out honor that you have bestowed upon Bill Davis, and that was a wonderful move that he made. I commend him.
Literally a procession on Main Street with all the honor guard. One of my favorite things going to these events are the honor guard of our first responders. Amazing. Everyone was, top notch, dressed well. Just an honor to be there and an honor to witness.
That's true. And 90 years old, still going strong. We want to continue to extend our best wishes to Mr. Davis, to his family. We really appreciate the work that he did, the visionary work that he did, and to represent our province. And we want to encourage those elected officials now who are now coming behind. This is the kind of standard that we expect of you. We expect you to be planting seeds that will last for the future. The things that he was able to do, that you are seeing them coming out now, talking about the created in the Ministry of Environment.
That's right.
All back then, way before his time. So we are saying, to those who are elected now, it's not just the little issues, but you want to make sure that you are building legacy that will last.
And one takeaway, another takeaway, because there were several, one of the takeaways was his focus on not being so partisan. This is one of the problems I always struggle with party politics, is that it's party or nothing. Party is important in terms of understanding, and these are the policies and so forth that you actually proceed with. But at times you need, and oftentimes you need to work together. And one of the key points of the 1981 election that they brought forward and spoke of so often was that was a minority government.
Oh, yeah.
So it resonates with today's environment. But in that minority environment, the conservative government of the time who was governing, and the NDP at the time, who I believe was the official opposition, because they spoke to that, so I'm not going to be a historian, but they spoke to that as well, worked together to do some great things. And that's the model. I tweeted this out yesterday as well, is that is the model for anyone aspiring to go into politics. Any of the politicians that are there now, we hope those are the examples that they follow, is that it's working together and collaborative. It's not about me, it's about us.
And just a little thing there as well, we talk about, Azad was here, talking about all levels of government working together. Premier Davis is credited with helping to have the Charter of Rights passed. Working, he played a pivotal role there, bringing the other levels of government together with the federal and the provincial to kind of get that done. Putting the notwithstanding clause and stuff like that. So that's the standard. We're hoping that we can see that continue rolling now, right? So we're about to wrap up here now, Mario. But a few things are going on. CN Rail, we understand that they might have reached some level of agreement.
Yeah, I believe there was some type of arrangement.
That we're going at. So,
that's great news for commerce in Canada. That's great news for the people employed. That these types of labor negotiations can be tough, but they need to be dealt with respect from both sides. And we're going in, I believe, into a scenario with the teachers union as well. We have the, I believe, work to rule has either started or is starting very soon. Again, we hope and implore both sides to work collaboratively and reach something that can be, in business, when you have a negotiation and both sides feel a little bit that they didn't get what they wanted, but then feel satisfied that they got some of the points, that's a good deal.
That's a good deal. And I think that, listen, I respect the bargaining process. In past lives, I've been a part of the bargaining process. I've been with the unions, I've been a union representative, so I know what the bargaining process is. But it's, when we look at, you shut down an economy, you hurt yourselves, you hurt business, you hurt schools, hurt families. It's hard to kind of rebuild that, So we are really hoping that, as people negotiate, they will look at the bigger picture. Even in Ontario right now, the minister keeps saying, kids need to be in school. Kids needs to be in school. So, is it a different time now where we need to fine-tune the bargaining process, because that's a bit of a challenge to keep striking and shutting down industry and business.
And again, back to what I said earlier, is that we bestow that confidence in our elected officials to work with unions, work with the bargaining process, and work in good faith. And that's, I think, is the key, is both sides need to work in good faith and understand that it's for the betterment of the children in this case, or the betterment of commerce with the CN, or whatever the case may be, is that collaboratively we all gain. And egos need to be set aside, and things need to be done for the betterment of the community.
Yep, we are just about out of time. We have some more interesting shows lined up. Join with us next week. We're going to take a deep dive into the city of Brampton. We are going to look at how the taxpayers' dollars are being spent at Brampton City Hall. So if you want to know what's happening with your money, how the councillors are spending that money, we have been hearing some rumblings, but we have taken a deep dive into the numbers, and we'll have a show on that for you next week. This is On Point. Mario Russo and myself here, Jermaine Chambers.
Happy birthday, Jermaine.
Thank you so very much. And tomorrow might not be as warm as today, so enjoy it. Have a good one.